Take it or leave it. I have questions about what's out there in this world and whether or not we should actually take it or leave it, because there's so much shit out there.
Well, you guys heard it. It's called Take It or Leave It. It's a segment where I'll, I guess, react to a video that Wifey has found to see whether the health and fitness advice is good or horrible. This is what, a video on ab exercises?
So I gave birth to our second child 6 months-ish ago, and I am traumatized by the residuals. So I am trying to look my best and be my best, and so I found this video and I just want to see if it works.
So I haven't seen this video before.
I literally used to have a belly. I worked so hard to lose belly fat. It took me a really long time. Belly fat is probably the most stubborn area, I swear. I would say it honestly took me 3 years to like fully get rid of sustainably. It really comes down to what you're eating, you guys. Like you cannot be having chips and cookies all the time and expect to lose belly fat. I kept my diet really clean and I do ab routines at the end of my workout, maybe 2 to 3 times a week. So I'm gonna show you an ab routine. We're gonna do it together and we're gonna be consistent. So it's 3 exercises. We're gonna do them back to back. We only rest at the end of the round. We're gonna start with knee-ins. So your palms are gonna be behind you, legs are gonna be out. You're gonna drive those knees towards your chest and back down. We're gonna do 20 reps. I want you to think about using your abs during the movement. Don't just be like, you know, like use your abs. Mind to muscle connection. Remember, no breaks in between. We're gonna go into slowed down mountain climbers. The knee's gonna go all the way in and back. Then you're gonna rotate. Keep it really tight. We're gonna do this for 45 seconds.
45 seconds, that's a long time.
Now we go into our side plank because we wanna hit our obliques. To make sure your elbow is right underneath your shoulder. Create a straight line with your body.
I like the side
Keeping my hips up as high as possible. And we're gonna hold it for 30 seconds on each side.
Long time for a side plank.
Other side, bitch, don't forget. Squeeze your ass, I swear to God, it'll keep your core tight. Now you start from the beginning, you do it 3 times total, call it a day.
Most crunches like this, I gotta say, like most people end up using their hip flexors as opposed to their abs. And then because we're not resting before we go into our second movement of those mountain climbers, then we're just continuing to work endurance and we're not actually building any strength. In order to actually contract your core and use it the most, this area of your body has to shorten. That's what contraction means, is it's shortening. So you need to crunch down, and there's none of that happening with your mountain climber. So again, it's really just a hip flexion exercise, not a abdominal exercise. So not a horrible selection in terms of the movement itself, but not great on the execution piece. And then again, going into a no rest really just means that we're working endurance and not building any strength. And then the last one, side planks, amazing, like phenomenal, one of the best. 1.5 out of 3 in terms of movement selection and like the exercises themselves. I'd say in terms of execution, it's relatively poor. We're doing 3 exercises back to back to back. We're doing lots of reps for them and or lots of time. And so we're just not stimulating muscular strength that is going to give us the biggest stimulus for core gains, essentially, whether those gains are strength, whether those gains are muscle, to get them more toned and defined. I think the biggest misconception with core is that I just need to keep going and going and going and do it till my core burns, but then we don't add any resistance. And our core is muscles, just like everything else that requires resistance. And there's not one movement in here that requires any sort of load and weight and resistance.
Would you say that this is a good starting point for someone who just doesn't have anything in their docket?
If you're new to working out, like these are all body weight exercises. They're a great place to start. I wouldn't do all 3 in a row. I would rather see you do one of these movements and hone in on executing it so that you're feeling it in your core.
This is for my postpartum ladies, because that's the journey I'm on. If you have, what's the word for the separation?
Diastasis recti.
If you have that, 1, should you be doing any of these moves? Is it better to not do any of these specific moves? How soon would we want to incorporate something like that into our moves? Or why not would we?
Early postpartum, those crunches are probably going to be pretty demanding, but if you can do them, great. What we want to watch out for is that bulging of that midline, the coning that you can see from that separation. So if you're getting that while you do it, then back off. If you're getting pelvic pain, then back off. So that's going to be the most important thing, is being aware of how you're feeling, how your body's responding in the abs. The mountain climbers should probably be generally okay. The side planks should be generally okay. It's just about kind of modifying it to fit how you feel and how challenging it is for you. But the side plank especially, I mean, we had you doing those a couple months in. I mean, that was one of the first core movements that we did for you.
Yeah.
And I think you started on your knees.
Yeah, but I could tell that it was physically off somehow for me. So I wasn't ready to do them normal off the bat.
Inherently, none of them are going to be terrible unless they kind of prove themselves to be terrible.
Do we take it or do we leave it?
No, I'm gonna leave it. And the big reason is just that, like, it's not, they're not horrible movements. Again, I don't love that there's 3 movements back to back in this circuit style for abs that everybody thinks is good and ideal, but it misses the biggest piece of the puzzle, which is muscles respond to tension and to load. And our core is no different than the rest of our muscles, but everybody just wants to do these core burnouts, stack a bunch of exercises together, and get that burn over the course of a lot of reps or a lot of time or both. And we miss the fact that the biggest thing that muscles respond to is load. So we need to add resistance to our core work, things like cable crunches, cable side chops to get rotation in there. Even a Pallof press is going to add load. We need to find a way to add resistance to our core work to get maximum benefits. So I'm going to leave this one because I think it's missing the biggest piece of the puzzle.